Right now, we are at the midpoint of Insight tonight, and we're talking about road safety. That's our focus tonight, and we have Mr. Musumba from NTSA here to talk to us about that. And before we went on break, you were telling us that it looks as if the key culprit to the rising numbers of road accidents is our behavior. Our drivers, our passengers, our pedestrians' behavior. Now, we are a fairly prosperous country, by the grace of God. We have good roads, and they're getting better. We have good quality cars, and they're getting better. And we have more and more people being able to afford these cars. It looks as if this prosperity is now becoming one of the reasons for our destruction, which leads the question, what do we do about it? I understand your organization has come up with a great plan. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Thank you, Victor. Looking at where we've come from, since inception of NTSA, that's 2012 to date, a couple of years now. And when we were being formed, already the phenomena we are talking about worldwide was already a problem. And the UN Council sitting, looking at the issues that affect the human population globally, they found that issues around road traffic crashes and injuries are actually just going up. In fact, compared to other killer phenomena like HIV, malaria, those diseases, like they were being contained. They said, hey, look, we need to do something here. Because every year, globally, 1.25 million dying. That's a lot of people. The world was like, no, we need to do something.
Those are lots of employees, those are parents, those are breadwinners.
You can't even compare to certain wars, obviously, those numbers. He said, no, we have to do something. So they came up with a plan called a UN Global Plan of Action for Road Safety. And in that plan, the proposal was that, hey, each country works towards a reduction of 50% of these deaths. That plan has been there last 10 years. It didn't work. We didn't achieve those numbers. Right now, again, the resolve, again, is still there. Another plan, again, 2021 to 2030, has worked towards the SDG framework, which is 2030 goal. And again, in this same plan, we're being called upon, many countries, of course, we signed that protocol under the UN convention, that we work towards a reduction of 50%. Now, if you look at our numbers, surely if we were to do that 50%, I talked about 4,700 and something, 753 last year.
Right.
50% of that would give us about 2,000.
Right.
Not so good, because there's still lives lost.
That's a lot of people still.
Somehow.
Yes.
Yeah. So that took us to the drawing board to start again now looking at our strategies. What haven't we done right that our numbers still are up there? What didn't we do right that we didn't achieve that 50%? So we did come up with a national road safety action plan, which today, actually we had a conference that was validating that plan. And it's the first plan for our country, actually. And in this plan, we have domesticated all those good recommendations that came from the UN plan of action. And very good proposals coming through in that plan, from how do we deal with every road user? How do we deal with issues infrastructure? How do we deal with issues leadership? How do we even fund some of these interventions? Because road safety is expensive, by the way.
Funding is a key, is a big thing.
Yeah. So that is really what we are doing now. And if you look at that plan, we have prioritized 8 areas.
Okay.
And we believe that implementation of these 8 areas will actually take us to that 50%.
Okay.
It's a moving target, yes, but hopefully, if we commit to this, we should be able to get to that 50%. It's a path we are walking.
What are some of these 8 areas, please?
Yeah, the first area, which is very key, really is around leadership. Managing road safety issues, coordinating all these issues, you need many people to come on board. The collaboration, the partnerships, because you can't do it alone. As an agency, by the way, we walked that path for some time, quite alone. And you could see every Kenyan, hey, where's the NTSA? This happens, where's the NTSA? Yes. But this plan now gives us an opportunity to bring everybody on board. A shared responsibility. Okay. This is our problem, that we need to work together. Okay. So the leadership aspect is number one. That can the leadership now marshal all this support, marshal collaboration, marshal partnerships, marshal all this funding, put together. So under that, we're proposing to come up with a multi-agency governance framework.
Okay.
They will actually coordinate all these issues together and be able now to push road safety at that level. Actually, it puts road safety at the highest level in terms of governance. Because that was lacking in this country. You hardly heard about the top guys talking about it. You know, it was just like, it's an NTSA affair. But now it's the highest level of leadership, and we hope that at that level, then we're able to move at the continental level. Number two, it's about funding.
Okay.
Where do we get these funds? So we've looked at all opportunities for funding, including internally. There are funds on fuel, these fuel levies. There are funds on road construction. To every road under construction, we get some percentage out of it towards road safety. Because it's foolhardy to construct such a beautiful road like this one, and you're talking about safety. Can we get a percentage of that to safety?
Okay,
the fines people are paying.
Leadership,
yes,
and safety, and funding. Okay.
Then number three, we're talking about safe infrastructure.
Okay.
That looking at our infrastructure, are we safe from design and all that? People say, yeah, this road is a killer road. Certain things are missing.
Here.
Exactly. Do we have enough non-motorized facilities? People who can walk and all that. People can cycle.
Or bicycles, yes.
Bicycles. Are we having that? The kind of designs now we're proposing here should actually be responsive to the needs of these users.
Okay.
And the next one is safer vehicles.
Okay.
How do we ensure that as a country we get the right vehicles in place? We are consuming second-hand vehicles, actually, ex-Japan vehicles.
Right.
But are we safe in those kind of vehicles?
Okay.
What are the standards? The bodybuilding standards.
For buses and
for
trucks.
buses and trucks.
Matatus.
You know, why would we have a bus going down in an accident and everything just goes off? It rips off and all that. It tells you some standards are missing. Then there's a whole issue around risk assessment.
All right.
A lot of these spaces that we are using, so risky. These roads, are we auditing enough? Are we able to get that information and say, hey, look, development is here, urban planning, people are now coming up with a lot of constructions around the roads and all that. In that space, how are the road users now accessing, for example, these facilities? Are they safe in that space? So we need that information. And that will help us now plan up for, if it is an urban area, are we able to come up with a multimodal kind of planning where we take care of everybody, speed,
all the stakeholders, everyone who needs to use the space.
You are safe when you're moving in that space.
Right.
The other thing now we're also looking at in the plan is issues around data and research, because we have to be evidence-based.
Right.
Our approaches.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie.
Right.
If we say pedestrians are the ones being killed here, can we do something about it? The intervention we come up with must be evidence-based.
Okay.
And the last thing now is around post-crash care. That you see.
Right. That's a big issue.
How do we handle these emergencies?
Now, I see what you mean when you say multi-sectoral.
Exactly.
Because now NTSA does not do that by themselves. You've got to partner with the health infrastructure, the emergency first responders, and so on. I see. Now, this is a big plan. It's also a big plan for a big problem. Unfortunately, for this very humble show, we have very little time. But before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to speak to Kenyans from your heart. I believe this is your camera.
Thank you.
Speak to them. Talk to them about the upcoming festive season. There's going to be a whole lot of traveling. There's going to be El Nino projected. Talk to them. Let them know how they can partner with you and your organization. Also, let them know what their responsibility, our responsibility is going to be. I'm sitting back and I'm listening as well. There's your camera. Please speak to us.
Thank you. Kenyans, road safety in this country, we are at a crossroad. If we don't do anything, things are going to get worse. The numbers, as we speak, are still up there. Over 3,000 lives lost. Things that we could do differently and bring down these numbers. We can prevent this from happening. Our behavior, speeding, drink driving, common things that we know about, that we've talked about many times. Even just belting up. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to just put on that belt. Don't put that belt because you've seen me or a police officer. I have no interest in that. It is your life that we are talking about here. Very soon, we are going to go into the festive season. And around this time, it's hype everywhere. No problem. You have to go out there, merry, and do that. But as you do that, think about your life. prioritize some life. Prioritize your life, your neighbor's life, your children's life. All these lives are very important. How have you prioritized lives of everybody around you? That's why we're saying here, like, it's a shared responsibility. Safety is a shared responsibility. The choices you make, look at how they're going to affect you, your next neighbor, and somebody else on that road. Your driver, your choices you're making, speeding and doing all that, you're going to affect a pedestrian there. You're going to affect another vulnerable road user somewhere. So we're asking you, that as you go for this festive season, please let us be so careful. I want to urge you to plan your journeys. Don't wait for 24th. Christmas Day is when you want to do all this madness. You want to move so fast, you want to get to places where you have never been to. You flout all the rules and all that. Just saying that I want to get to Christmas finds me, maybe whatever I'm going to. Can we plan our journeys as early as now? If you're this family, this big family, please don't bundle everybody in this one vehicle and you want to travel at the same time. We have lost whole families because of that kind of choice. Please plan your journey very well in good time. Let other people travel earlier than others. Let other people live to tell the story, not all of us perishing. So I want to wish you already early enough, Merry Christmas. But as you do that, let us do it responsibly.
Right.
We need you. We need each other very responsibly.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I like that. Thank you very much for that. In fact, yesterday somebody said, you shouldn't try to die. Who's going to help us pay the taxes? And on that note, good people, you've heard the message. To add anything to it would be to take away from it. Be your brother's keeper and be careful on these roads. Obey the rules and the rules will protect you. My name is Victor Muyakane, and I thank you, Mr. Musumba, for joining us. Please come again and spread the message.
Sure.
Indeed.
Sure.
Thank you so much for choosing us to inform you this evening, and thank you for paying attention to Insight Tonight. Up next, VAR with the great Ahmed Bahaj and the TV47 supercharged sports team. If you're a fan of sports, sit tight. We're coming up in just a short while. Good night and God bless you.